And it's okay, and I want you to disagree if you feel that way. You know, I'm one with nature. So here I am living on this farm, growing up on this farm, and I watch the behavior of his type. And I see the behavior of the Buckies and the Voodoos and the, you know, all of the male species around here. And I also know the behaviors of the female species around here. And so if nature, folks, nature has not civilized itself the way humans have. Let's be honest. Now, I know what you're going to say, Lester, we're not animals. Well, we're a lot more like animals than what you want to believe, than what you realize. Baby, give him some milk. I know y'all have probably seen these two eating breakfast more times than you can count. But it never gets old to me. I love this time of the day. You hear the roosters doing their thing in the distance. So Pig Newton has actually stopped eating the sugary oatmeal. He on his own has decided that, you know what, Dad? Too much sugar is a bad thing. But I'll tell you what he likes. He loves me to squirt him with milk. I know you really can't see that because, here, I gotta go fast. He doesn't want to drink it out of the bottle. I can try to make him, but he just wants to be squirted. And Journey does not like me wasting all of her milk that way. I do bring her 2 bottles because this one bottle is way too small. But yeah, he likes it to be all over his face. Stop biting her. He's not biting her hard. That's just his way of saying move because I want some milk. Here. Here. There you go. Okay. They get along pretty good. I say pretty good. To me, he's a little rough around the edges. But you know what? When you dealt with Ringo and Tex and who else? I mean, you know, just males in general. Just males in general. You parents who have little boys. All right, so here we go with our second bottle. You parents who have little boys would probably admit that sometimes the boys are a little bit rougher around the edges than what your girls are. And I think that that's the way. It's okay to be that way. I know in the day and age that we live in, it's very, very likely that a lot of people would find fault with what I just said. But I want to remind you of something. Can we just for a second think about some of the most popular movies of our time? Saving Private Ryan. Let's keep going. Top Gun. Now, some of you young folks may not know any of these titles. William Wallace. What's that one called? Freedom! Oh my gosh. I forgot the name of that movie. Guys, you could just keep going. Braveheart. Sheesh. You could just keep going with names of movies that we've all fallen in love with. Rocky. And I want you to think about something. What every one of those have in common. Every single one of those have in common. Think about it for a minute. Not only do you have a male who's a little rough around the edges. Oh, William Wallace was rough around the edges. Okay? My God, there's so many. Saving Private Ryan. It was Tom Hanks. Rough around the edges. Top Gun. Tom Cruise. His character. Rough around the edges. Guys, but listen what happens in every single one of them. There was also a bit of a love story. Because you know what women love? Women love men who are rough around the edges. They do. I don't want to say bad boys because I do not think that all women love bad boys. But I know women do love men who are truly men. Who act and look and smell and they just personify what is a man. And if that's not true, then God help us all, man. No, let's be honest. I'm going to flip this camera around because it's time to show some other perspectives. Well, here's an example over here. Look, here comes a man. Look at there. No. There's a man right there. There's a man right there. I'm talking about women and how they love a real man, okay? There's a lot of, yeah, thank you, Fidel. There is a lot of women who will marry a yes man. They want that guy who's going to sit there beside them and hold their hand and be obedient and never question. And I'm sorry to say this, ladies, but you know it's true. Man, Fidel, I don't think I can say it. I don't think that that's the guy you have spent your entire life dreaming or fantasizing about one day marrying. I think that the reason why men and women love those movies that I mentioned and love those characters in life who are rough around the edges is because that's what women love about men. And so men have over time conformed, I believe, to being more conducive to what a woman, a wife, let's say a wife type, might want them to be. No, I just feel bad for men who give up so much of what they have by instinct just to conform to the desires of the society that we live in this day and age. Man, I'm going to be in so much trouble for this, Fidel. I am going to be in so much trouble for what I just said. But I don't want you to think that I'm saying it with malice. I want you to understand that I'm saying it just as a kind of in a philosophical way, and it's totally okay if you disagree with me. Folks, there are so many behaviors that I see in these animals that I also see in the human species. And so I can say, as a farmer who has seen nature all of my life, my dad has seen it all of his life, my grandfather before him, Fidel deals with nature over at his home. Guys, nature is sometimes a little bit rough around the edges. And the male species in nature, they kind of have to be that way. They sort of have to be that way because that's what determines the safety of the herd. That's what determines, sorry to say this, I'm so sorry to say this, but who wins the girl? Man, Fidel, I'm afraid I have started down a road that I'm going to get myself in trouble for. Because I know that this page is about 70% women, 30% men, and I just talked about something that I believe at least 50% of those ladies are not going to be happy with. But I will say this, it's just my opinion. And you can, please, my boss has always said, we can agree to disagree. And so my statement was a simple statement, Fidel. My simple statement was, I believe that there are still women in this modern world who actually prefer guys who are a little rough around the edges. Not every woman wants a yes man with soft little hands who have manicured nails and wears cute little loafers with his shorts. You don't know what I'm talking about. Thank God. No, I'm just kidding about it. It just doesn't matter what you wear, guys. I'm freaking wearing Crocs with jeans, all right? So please. No, but, yeah. I just think there is still a place for men who are a little rough around the edges. As much and as civilized as we like to call ourselves and what we think we are, I still think there are some ladies who like men a little rough around the edges. The bad boys, if you will. Like you're a bad boy. You're so bad. He's a bad boy. Yes, you are a bad boy. Let me tell you what I read recently. Hard times create tough men. Tough men create easier times. Easy times create soft men. Soft men create difficult times. I only bring that up because I think that it takes guys that are rough around the edges to be those hard men. And I think that this world's going to need lots of men who are rough around the edges in the near future. Look at the ducks flying over. Fidel, look at the ducks.
Hey.
That's yours, Fidel.
Yeah.
Huh, he saw you. Your duck saw you and wanted to say hi. He stopped for no reason. Fidel's duck was on a flyby. And he literally saw Fidel and he wanted to say hello to you. How sweet is that? You see, Fidel? Even your duck can recognize a man who's rough around the edges.